Now, in a moment, we'll speak with Kamal, Hyder, who's live for us in Muzaffarabad in Pakistan-administered Kashmir. But first, let's go to Divya, Gopalan, and get the latest on what's been happening in New Delhi. Divya, quite significant that the Pakistani High Commissioner has been summoned. Do we know what was said during his meeting with the Foreign Secretary of India?
Indeed, it's very significant, Foley. I mean, this rarely happens. The fact that this has come up to this level does mark a turning point here. India has been aggressively pushing the diplomatic channels. They've asked him for an explanation. They want Pakistan to come back with an appropriate response for India's concerns. India has, of course, called the incident brutal and inhuman. They have raised very many concerns about this, saying that there has been an incursion onto Indian territory. That's what the Indian military is saying. Now, the Prime Minister has also been made aware of what's happened. He will have a briefing with one of the highest bodies here that deals with national security. Until then, it's purely going to be a diplomatic push from both sides. They want Pakistan to respond in a manner that India says will explain what happened and perhaps offer an investigation into what happened. Now, of course, within the army ranks and within the opposition parties, there are calls for more of a retaliatory response, more of an aggressive act, but so far the Indian government are pushing through diplomatic response. It's a lot of talks between the two sides right now, both within the military ranks and within the government ranks.
All right, Divya, thanks for that update. That's Divya Gopalan in New Delhi. Let's cross over now to Kamal, Hyder in Muzaffarabad in Pakistan-administered Kashmir. Kamal, we heard India's foreign minister say earlier that there would be a proportionate response to this. How are they reacting to this in Pakistan?
Well, first of all, you already know the Pakistani military has denied the whole affair, and so there is an expectation here that after all the diplomatic maneuvers by both sides, because it must not be forgotten, earlier the Indian Deputy High Commissioner had been summoned by the Foreign Ministry. But importantly, one has to understand that the line of control which separates the two countries is a volatile region, even though the ceasefire has been holding since 2003. If that ceasefire was to be broken, if there were going to be more incidents along the line of control, it could affect millions of Kashmiris living on both sides of the border, because in the past, both sides were fighting artillery duels, those shells were landing on either side of the border, and the civilians, of course, could not move. They were virtually prisoners in their own homes. So there would be an expectation that there would be a de-escalation, right, something that the Indian Foreign Minister also mentioned.
As you say, Kamal, exchanges in the disputed areas are not uncommon. There have been serious incidents every year. Do you get a sense, being in Muzaffarabad today, that this latest incident is more serious, or could we see a de-escalation, as you say?
Well, you see, the trouble between India and Pakistan is that sometimes the escalation doesn't take a whole lot of time. You must remember that after the Mumbai attacks in 2010, the Indians put their troops in forward locations, forward positions along the Pakistani border and even on the line of control. So one would expect that there would be a diplomatic solution to this, because a quid pro quo would only escalate the crisis.
Okay, thank you very much, Kamal. That's Algeria's Kamal Hyder, live for us in Muzaffarabad.